Hey everyone, it is record cold out there and temperatures continue to drop across the region. And we've got some chilly weather that is going to continue overnight tonight. I hope everybody's staying warm. My goodness, is it cold and a lot colder than it normally is for this time of the year. So, did you know that in fact we did break the record low for today? Well, we actually tied it. Hold on just a second. We're going to slide on over here. I'm going to load up some weather graphics and we're going to show you just how cold it is going to get tonight. So here's our 2-day forecast timeline as we bring this up full. And I got to step out of the room here in just a second. I will be right back. Got to take care of something. Just 2 seconds. All righty, people. I had to just take care of something. Get the basketball game off in the background. Don't want any retransmission complaints or anything like that. But my goodness, is it cold out there? So yeah, we do have rain coming our way next week. Look at the temperatures; we're already in the upper 20s, and we're going to be falling off into the low 20s and upper teens. Notice the high temperatures tomorrow hitting the mid 50s, so we do start warming up a little bit more. And then we get even warmer as we get to 70 on Thursday. Now, that's only 2 days from now, and it's a dramatic warming. And yes, I do think that we see rain. What's interesting, though, is the models are really struggling with the long range weather pattern. But here's my thoughts on this is that even though it's struggling with the long range weather pattern, we will get rain. We will get storms. I don't know about the severity yet, but I will say this that there's a lot of jet stream energy that's coming in. And so I'll give you kind of an idea about that. And so hope everybody's doing well. And yeah, we're going to have a complete pattern flip here, as you'll see with our jet stream right now. We've got this big dip in the jet stream off the west coast of the United States, or off the east coast, excuse me. And the west coast is a big ridge of high pressure. But here's what happens over time: that giant low starts to lift northward, and it gets replaced by warmer weather. And then at the same time, the west coast of the United States starts getting colder and a lot of jet stream energy. Now, here's the deal: if we do have instability that returns, which keep in mind this is still 6, 7 days out, we could very easily see severe weather potential with this. Look at this wave of energy, lot of jet stream energy, and that's coming right over us. You'll notice here Wednesday, look at that, into Thursday, big dip in the jet stream. And not only is it a large dip in the jet stream, but it's also progressive. Look at the way that moves in. So, right here, the end of October, you look at the models and they're not breaking out a lot of precipitation, but I don't necessarily believe it. I think it's a little bit underdone, if you will, in terms of the rain and storms. Now, the Climate Prediction Center, if you look at the 6 to 10 day outlook, they've got much colder than normal on the West Coast, unlike this week when it's warmer than normal. And then you've got much warmer than normal on the East Coast. And then that's going to lead to the shower and storm chances. Now, check this out. When we look at if it's going to be wetter than normal, it absolutely is. In fact, we're in the bullseye of the wetter than normal for the central United States. So I do believe that we are going to see rain. We are going to see storms. If we look at the long range models here, the European is really struggling, I think, with the moisture return, but sometimes that can come back pretty quick. So overnight Sunday into Monday is this front that comes in. Now the model wants to take this front, shove it south, and clear all the moisture out, which is why the next system that comes in on Tuesday doesn't really produce a whole lot of rain until Wednesday. Well, I don't necessarily believe that. I think that's a little underdone. But nevertheless, it still does have rain and storm chances. And then at the end of the week, this is where that big system comes in with the severe weather potential. And then the model stops right there, basically, Friday, early afternoon. No doubt, though, a big system moving in. The GFS is totally different. If we look at it, obviously, no rain the next couple of days. It doesn't really have the rain Sunday except for Sunday night. It's got this little bit, and so it's kind of in agreement with that. But then watch what happens. The front pushes through. It's too fast, and then it's got the rain and storms in southern Arkansas, which I think is too far south, in my opinion. I mean, here's the deal. Remember what happened this past weekend when the models were not showing much rain over northwest Arkansas? While there were some spots that didn't see a lot, I still think we do see storms. Not maybe not necessarily super significant with severe weather because we don't have the moisture in place. We don't have the instability. And if we look at the amount of for the dew points, you're going to see this over time. I'm going to put this into motion, and you're going to see how dry it is. So here's a look at the dew points. Look at this, mid-teens right now. We'll take a look at the temperatures as well. But there's a look at the dew points, and look at how dry that is. So dry. But notice by the end of this, we're starting to see some green show back up. The Gulf is starting to open back up for business. But right now, this front that's coming through is really scouring out the moisture. So it's not always about the big dips in the jet stream. It's not always about the systems coming through. It also has to be combined with the amount of moisture, which will eventually create instability. So let's take a look at the current temperatures, and then I'm gonna kind of send you on your way. We're not getting a whole lot of not a whole lot of action on this Facebook Live, which is fine. It's so cold; people are probably all bundled up inside. But look at that, 29 in Fayetteville, and the record for today is 29 back in 1955. So we officially tied the record. We still have 11 all day, basically. No 8-ball weather. See you next time. Yeah, Larry, I understand. They just want to hear from the 8-ball, don't they? So 24 back in 1948, and currently Harrison is at 29. I mean, look at the size of this freeze warning. These don't come around very often. And if this was wintertime, this would be definitely an Arctic blast. So look at the freeze warning goes all the way into the western Florida panhandle. So, like, if you're going to Destin for the beach, you're like, this stinks. All right. Let's see here. One more thing. So here's the weather headlines. We'll take a look at the temperatures, and then I think we'll call it a day. So record freeze tonight, rapid warming late week, fire spread danger from the wind. Boy, the winds are going to whip up this weekend. And then rain and storms return next week. Notice how I didn't really call for severe weather potential at the moment. Still too far out. This was 10 o'clock, but I bet you we're colder now, 34. And Brian, I bet you your bucket is frozen. I bet the bucket forecast is frozen. Any hurricanes? Nope. Don't see any in the near future. So everything's kind of quiet. And I am doing well, Brian. Look at that. 29 right now in Fayetteville at freezing in Rogers. We weren't this cold all night last night into this morning. So it's definitely very, very chilly. And the rest of the area showing those lower 40s and then mid 30s. So yeah, definitely a cold night. Hopefully you've got your plants protected. You're covering your pipes. You've got your plants covered too if you can't bring them inside. And so, here's some stuff about if you want to know about hard freezes. If it's 28 degrees or less for more than 2 hours, which clearly we're going to be that, bring them inside. And if you got pipes, cover them. Plants, you want to protect them, and people as well. Want to make sure they're have a good source of working heat. So if we look at this is kind of interesting. I actually have to update this now because it got down to 29. But so far, so I'll break this down real fast. Is this a record-breaking cold snap? Very brief, but record-breaking. Yes, it is. So we tied the record back in 2009. And also 2009. Oh, yeah, that was tonight. And 1955. So it's basically 2 years, 1955 and 2009. And looks like we're going to easily shatter the record of 25. We're only 4 degrees away from that, of tying it, and we'll easily drop down. Fort Smith, so far 38, but I think it might be colder now. And tomorrow morning, I think we get down to 27. So that breaks a record as well. If you're wondering, because we had some people asking, is there any way to know what the earliest ever was? Well, if we're getting down into the teens, the earliest ever that Fayetteville's Drake Field hit the teens was back on October 29th, which is still over 10 days from now. And I think we do hit the teens. So it would be the earliest on record. For the single digits, which we won't see, that's 11/11/1950 when it got down to 9. Fort Smith, below 20, the earliest ever in history, the first freeze was 11/12 of 1911. I don't think we get into the teens in the River Valley, but we will be below freezing. And then you got for single digit high temperatures or low temperatures, excuse me, 8 degrees was reached on December 5th of 1886. That is a long, long standing record. So the frost freeze climatology, here's what it is. We got a killing freeze tonight. November 11th is the average first date of the killing freeze. We're about 3 weeks ahead of schedule with that. The earliest that it ever happened. Now remember, this is not teens. This is the earliest 25 degrees or lower. So the statistics can sometimes be a little misleading and confusing. But October 7th of 1952, that is the earliest. And if we look at the River Valley climatology, you will notice here November 2nd, November 17th, November 25th. I'll take that camera off the screen so you can see the killing freeze typically ranges November 25th. So we're way ahead of schedule, but we might get a killing freeze even in the River Valley as it drops down to 27, not quite 25. Jacob's got a question. What's the earliest single digit high temperature for Northwest Arkansas? So that's going to take a little bit of typing up, and that's going to take a little bit of searching, but let's see if I can find it. So we're going to go with single station products. We're going to go to first and last dates, and we're going to go to max temp of less than or equal to 10 degrees. Nope, single digits. We want to go less than equal to 9. And you want to do for, well, let's just try everywhere here. Let's see. That's a pretty involved question, but search Fayetteville. Whoops. Product selection. Option selection. Okay, max temp, station area. Oh, great. Are you not going to give me? Let's see something here. I think it's working. There we go. Wrong Fayetteville. Guess it needed to be capitalized. There we go. Now we're good. All righty. So the earliest ever was single digits in 1989. Boy, 1989 was a cold, cold year. Yeah, that would have been 9 degrees. So that's the earliest ever was December 22nd for single digits. But that sometimes is not the coldest spot. So if I go to search another site, let's expand the area and let's go to Gravit. Gravit is typically a lot colder. So we'll take a look at Gravit. And the earliest for Gravit, December 22nd, 1990, which it got down to 6 degrees. It also tied to 1989 and 1990, both December 22nd. So typically late December is your first single digit high temperature. That's pretty cold. But there you go. there's your answer, folks. So when we give your winter forecast, you were pretty spot on last year. You know, I will say that the winter forecasts are tough. It's coming up really soon. I don't know exactly when. It's all me this week. Zach's off. So perhaps it's going to be next week. I just need some help in order to do all this, obviously. Hi, Dan. Bella Vista, please. You want to know about Bella Vista? So, unfortunately, climate site's not very well defined in Bella Vista. So there is no climate site in Bella Vista. There's Bentonville Municipal, there's Rogers. There's just not a lot of record keepings in Bella Vista, according to this climate site. Well, that's about it, guys. It was way too hot to start off fall. Now it's way too cold for fall. I know, Steven. I just want that too as well. It's so stinking cold out there. What will the temps be at 6:30? Depends where you're at, but I'm thinking low 20s. So that's going to be about the coldest time in the morning is 6:30 in the morning. Something else on the news is, of course, the Twisters movie that's coming out. And I have no idea what that's going to be like without, Bill Paxton, Philip Seymour Hoffman. I mean, it's called Twisters. I imagine the CGI will be better than Twister, which is still pretty good. Um, yeah, I do recall temp readings in Northwest Arkansas area was about -10, -15. Yeah, that was in February. So we got down to 20 below, which was February 16th of 2019. But all they asked was the high temperature in single digits. So this is definitely not as cold as February. But hopefully they asked Reed Timmer to play in it. Yeah. Reed is big time. I wouldn't doubt if he was in Twisters. He probably will make it to the silver screen. So I just want to, I don't know, I want to see a good storyline. I want some accuracy in the movie. I don't want it to be like, I definitely don't want it to be like The Day After Tomorrow, which is just all against scientific reason. You see his car after the hurricane? I didn't. No, I know. Bill Paxton is dead. That's why I'm saying it's going to be without Bill Paxton. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Rest in peace, Bill. I still can't believe he's dead. That's crazy. No, I didn't get to see his car after it was strategically taken away by storm surge. What are the temperatures supposed to be tonight? Well, we covered that, but I'll show you again, Morgan. So here's what we've got for temperatures tonight. Pretty darn chilly. 26, 23, 21, 19, and 20. So I'll let this go a couple more minutes. And speaking of chilly, here's a question that we posed. No, you're fine, Morgan. No worries. I know you probably just hopped on. But yeah, those are the temperatures. I mean, upper teens, lower 20s. If we do get down to the upper teens, it would be the earliest ever on record. Beans or no beans in your chili? I'd love to see the comments. So you just comment away. I know this is kind of a hot take for a lot of people. Me personally, I like beans. And if I'm having chili, my favorite chili is white chicken chili. And I know it's not good for you because you got all the heavy cream in there, but man, I'm a beans guy. What would be in Bentonville Thursday morning at 6:30? Got to ride my bike to work. So Thursday will be mid to upper 30s. Mark says he likes his chili both ways. All right, Mark. So I agree, but I'm a beans guy. I definitely like beans in the chili. Yeah, I prefer beans, says Bobby. Chili beans. Yes, beans and a lot of different meat. Beans is the main part of chili. No beans and no whole tomatoes. See? So you got different strokes for different folks. Dwayne says beans. Also, too, deer chili. Ah, so good. I like deer from chili and beans. There you go, Michael. That's exactly what I said. don't forget, don't forget the Beano with the chili. Yeah, no doubt about that. Uh, maybe you can stay warm from this cold blast. Twisters. Hope for a good movie. Tornado with Bruce Campbell. Cameron, that's what I was saying. Late next week does look active. Lots of jet stream energy. Question is the moisture return. Typically, models are terrible with that 7-10 days out. So the low level jet can really surprise people in a major way. I think there's going to be storms, and I've got that in my 7-day. And as a matter of fact, we didn't do the 7-day yet. So let me show you that. And then we'll call it a night. And I'll go back to trying to stay warm. So we're 19. That's what I'm going officially at Drake Field tonight. I mean, we're already pretty dang close to that. 55 Wednesday, 68 Thursday. Look at the winds, though. The winds are going crazy Saturday and Sunday, especially Sunday. And then Monday and Tuesday, I've got storm chances. Now, the models aren't really showing those storms as much as I'm putting them on there, but I'm doing it. And I even have that 20% late Sunday night. So we're talking right before midnight with this front coming in. So there you go. There's your temperatures right there. And that is Northwest Arkansas's forecast. The River Valley, notice the record low, 25 in 1989. I think we're going to break that. 74 on Thursday, 83. Look at the 90 on Sunday. Is that crazy, Chris? I know. It's like super crazy, like just totally, bipolar weather. I don't know if you can say that without obviously I know that's a mental illness, but let's just say roller coaster ride weather. All right. I think we all knew the temperature clash would lead to potential severe weather at some point. We'll see what happens. It could definitely lead to some stormy weather. But yeah, you get all 3 seasons, if not mostly 4 seasons too. It might even feel a little bit like summer on Sunday. So frustrating too, because I've got all my plants that I'm covering up, but I only need to do it for one night. As you see, those morning lows just soar into the upper 50s, lower 60s, not even close to a freeze. But I'll take the storms for the warmer weather. Yeah, same here. I'm not ready for this cold yet. Not ready for the cold. I'm not ready for all the decorations to come out for the holidays. I'm just not ready for a lot of stuff. Just life needs to slow down in general a little bit. Okay, guys, take care. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. Stay warm, be safe. God bless, and I will see you tomorrow.